Hello. Up kind of late night. I work the grave shift, so my family is sleeping. And on my days I have off, I tend to have a hard time adjusting. Sometimes I can get to bed nice and early, other times I just end up stuck in my thoughts all night. So tonight's not such a big deal because I work grave shift tomorrow, so it's just kind of adjusting my schedule a little bit early. But, you know, sometimes when you're up late, you can reflect on certain thoughts, and there's this memory that I've been kind of just playing. I don't even know why I've been playing it in my head, but it happened at a Walmart in Arizona on Bell and 7th Street in North Phoenix, probably like 2018. I think I had just had a baby that was born a few months beforehand, and then my oldest. So my two kids with me, my wife, and there was a lot going on in the news at the time, like a lot of like active shooter type things, and we were heading to the front, like where the checkouts or self checkouts, and you can walk out the front doors where we came in, and there was a bunch of panicking going on. Like I heard a bunch of yelling and screaming. People were fighting for sure, and I remember looking at my wife and I was telling her, "Hey, go out the plant section, like where the plants are." And I sent her that way with the kids, and for some reason I went to the front doors. I don't know why I did that. When I think back to it, if it was some kind of shooter situation, I wasn't armed. There's really nothing I could have done about that. So I come out front, and there's this scene like exploding and going on, and like there's people crowded at the door. Everyone's like bottlenecked in there, can't get out, can't get in because there's something going on. There's a little feller, and he has like a dress shirt on and like a radio earpiece, and I'm pretty sure he was like maybe an assistant manager or a manager at Walmart. And there's this big dude, like huge, like 6'5" to 6'7", probably about 400 plus pounds. He had really high pants on, shirt tucked in. Definitely was challenged, and had a lot going on. And he's yelling, and he's picking this dude up by the arms, just like tossing him back. And he's trying to come at this lady. She's in a electric wheelchair, one of the Walmart carts, elderly lady. And like I'm roughly 5'7", 5'8". I'm decently stocky. There's this guy, he's a couple inches taller than me, and he's way stockier than I am. And he's just hyped up, jumping like he's ready to fight, trying to come at this big dude with his pants pulled up high. And then there's a elderly lady standing behind the dude with his pants pulled up high, and she's like 70, maybe 80. I don't know. She was older though for sure, because the big guy it looked like he was in his 40s, maybe even 50s. I couldn't tell. But she's trying to tell him, "Hey, let's go. I got the cart. Let's go." And this guy's yelling, "I'm not going back to the hospital. I'm not going back to the hospital." The guy jumping around, getting all froggy, he's like trying to, keep him away from the lady in the wheelchair. The lady in the wheelchair is like yelling, "You're going to jail. I'm calling the cops on you." Blah blah blah. Huge eruption. Like I noticed that there was something going on with the guy. Like I don't know what he had. If he was autistic, he looked autistic in a way, just like his manners and his behavior and just this aggression he had. Like he looked like he was going to kill somebody. And I'm standing in this crowd, nobody's doing anything. This poor Walmart manager is getting tossed side to side between these two bear of some dudes. And I stepped out in the middle of these guys, and I hugged around the waist the really big guy with his pants pulled up high. And I said, hey, buddy, my name's Nolan. What's your name? I can't remember what he told me his name was, but he starts telling me, he's like, "Oh," and then he starts talking about her, and she's doing this. She's gonna send me back to the hospital. I'm not going back to the hospital. I said, "Well, let's not worry about that, man. Well, who's this behind you? Is your mom behind you? Looks like you're trying groceries out to the car. Let's go." And I got him turned around, and the other dude's puffed up. Now he's kind of backing up because I'm there, but he's still like ready to defend his wife in this electric scooter. And I have my hands around him still, and I start walking with him, and like he was huge. Like I'm stocky and I'm decently strong, but there's nothing I could have done against this guy if I would have wanted to. I mean, his hand probably could have just covered my face. And she's on the chair, and she said something, I can't remember, but she said something very vulgar, and she was dropping the F-bomb. She was very heated too. As I'm walking away with my gum turned around, we're walking out towards the parking lot now. She says something, and he like spins around. I'm still holding on to him, so I'm like, we're going around. Now I'm trying to like pull him back. Like, hey buddy, it's okay, let's just go, let's just go. And you know, he's like, I'm not going back. He's just charging at her. And I'd be, hey buddy, hold on. What'd your mom buy you? And I'm trying to like think of anything I can to distract this guy from attacking this woman in the chair. And she's not helping me. She's not doing any favors. She was heated too. So, you know, she's yelling. And after like maybe one or two more times of that, spinning around and like me just praying in my mind, like, God, I need help. I can't do this. And I don't know why I even went out there. I don't know why I was in that situation. But there I was. So eventually I get him to this car, and, you know, it's a really small car for a man his size, but, you know, I get him in the car and I close the door and I help his mom put the groceries in the back of the car. She comes over, says thank you. She hugs me, and I noticed when she hugged me, one, she was very frail and tiny, and two, she did have some bruises on her arms. I don't know if that was like a common thing for her, or if those bruises were even related. Maybe she's a gardener and just banged up, which is, I don't know. So I'm not gonna try to make too much assumptions on that, but I figured that she's been through that before. When he was yelling, I don't want to go back to the hospital, and he was using the specific hospital's name, I just don't want to say it. You know, I'm assuming this is something they've been through before, and I don't know if she was ready, like, here it goes again, it's happening again. And, you know, I don't know in her case if I made it worse or better by stopping it, but, you know, so the car's driving off, I'm waving to him like, hey, let's just go. I walk back to the front where she's still in her car, there's still people there, the Walmart manager guy's off to the side, the husband's standing there, the car's going. I'm like, hey, just go, nobody's gonna call the cops, and let's just get out of here. And they're driving off, and the woman in the car's like, get that license plate and call the police, somebody call the police. And she's just going off. And you know, so I stop and I look at the husband and say, look, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. I just want him out of there. I didn't want you guys getting hurt. I didn't want him getting hurt. I said things were getting really out of hand. I didn't want the Walmart manager guy getting hurt. And you know, he shakes my hand. He's like, hey, I just want you to understand, this is my wife. You know, I have to protect her. I say, hey, dude, I'm not mad. I don't think you're in the wrong. I really don't know what happened, to be honest. I just kind of ended up here and was trying to de-escalate and like stop it from happening, because I don't care if she would have called the police, and I don't care how big that dude was, because he was bigger than me, at least from my view. I mean, he was bigger than me, and like he was stockier than me too. I mean, looked like he worked out in his age, and he was up there a bit too. And you weren't stopping that guy. I wasn't. Me and you both together weren't stopping that guy. You know, I could imagine police would have had to do something more drastic to stop him. So, you know, he's like, hey, it's my wife. And this lady, she wasn't happy. She was pissed off at me for de-escalating, which is fine. I get it. I mean, when people's emotions are heightened, you know, I didn't know what happened, but they ended up leaving. I go back in the store. I ended up calling my wife, and she was already out the garden side. Told her to come back in. And as I was walking by the front counters to go meet her, I was stopped by the Walmart manager guy. He just shook my hand, said thank you. And he says that individuals came in before, and it's happened before. And what had happened this time, and I it was a while ago, but I remember him saying that, like, they bumped into each other. Like, he bumped into her, and she ended up, like, running over his foot or something silly. And she started yelling at him. He started yelling back, and, like, because of his autism or whatever he had, that he just got super deregulated and just started like menacing up and just, you know, getting hyped. And at least that's what I remember him telling me. I can't exactly recall the exact details. It was just weird though. That day was weird for me because I had just left the Department of Corrections. So I was a correctional officer before that for a couple of years, and then I was just starting a job at a hospital as a security officer for a place I just applied to. So I was right in between jobs. I was avid watching like videos about the news, and there was a lot of like shooter things going on. Like all my instincts told me not to go that way, and for some reason I went that way. So ended up, I don't know if my presence there made it better or worse, but you know, ain't nobody got hurt, which is a plus and a positive. So I don't know, sometimes when I read the Bible, it talks about, you know, the people in the Bible, Moses is like, you know, God, I know you want me to speak for you, but I don't got a good tongue. And God's like, well, I gave you your mouth so I can tell you can do this, but whatever, I'll send Aaron, your brother. And it's just in those moments, it's like, I know I have, just from my history of being a correctional officer, which I made a lot of mistakes doing, moving into security, and then furthering my career up to this day where I'm at now. And I kind of work in the same-ish field. So it deals with a lot of de-escalation. It's really become something of a talent of mine, I guess. I don't know. It's something that works for me. Back then, it wasn't quite formed. Like, I knew I was capable of it, but it wasn't something that I could do. Like, now it comes really effortlessly. Back then it was like I was still young and hot-headed, and it wasn't as easy for me to de-escalate as it is nowadays. But it was just one of those things I really felt God pushed me into, and used the talent I have that he gave me. And I do feel like God gave me this ability to speak to people sometimes, and to talk to people, and to get through to them. I don't know why, and it's heat of the moment. It just doesn't fail me very often. So, and glory to God for that, because in my own ability, I'm a coward. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be in the middle of some big fight. I don't want to be having to de-escalate somebody. I don't like the adrenaline drops in my stomach. I don't like that kind of stuff. So, it was just one of those things that I don't know how I ended up there, why I went that way. Like, logic dictates go the opposite way, so it's just one of those weird situations. I always think about that moment sometimes, and it's like when I'm feeling like I can't handle something, it's like, that was scary. But the thing is like, once I got there, like, all the fear went away. It's like, as I'm taking it in, as I'm being drawn to this call, I'm what's going on, I'm being drawn to this. As I'm being drawn there, my adrenaline's running, I don't know what to think, my mind's racing. I get there and there's a moment of oh crap, where there's the exit. And it was like I was standing next to these people. It's like, there's the exit, or there's my shot to do something about this. And I don't know, all of a sudden I was just taking a step forward, and I just grabbed a hold of that guy. I was like, hey buddy, doing the best I could. So, I really think God prepares people and helps them do those things. But I know it's just one of those late night stories I was thinking of. I got tons, to be honest. That's just one I wanted to share. One of the more appropriate ones, I guess. So I hope everyone's having a great, blessed night. And if you're reading this, I hope you find some value in that, because I'm just rattling off thoughts in my head. So have a great night.